was your first impression of Drew when you guys first started working out in Denver, and how has that translated to training camp now?
My first impression was that, he was a pro, and I was very excited just to have the opportunity to work out with him, playing with another Hall of Fame quarterback or getting the chance to play and work out with another Hall of Fame quarterback. I think my first impression was very unique because I was already at the field and I was already kind of warmed up, so I just kind of asked him and Emmanuel, like, hey, you guys need, 5-10 minutes to get ready? And Drew was, no, I probably need 25-30. And he went through his actual, pregame warm-up, and I thought that was very impressive just in terms of the fact that he treats everything like a game and just his attention to detail.
Next question is for Amy Just.
Yeah, with that workout, what was it like to, catch passes from him? And now apparently he was a bit, really instrumental in getting you here. A guy like Drew Brees, future Hall of Famer, really wanted you here. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like all my hard work and dedication has paid off. Playing with guys like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, I played with both of the Manning brothers for 2 years apiece, winning the Super Bowl, and just, I'm all about team first, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this team, and then whatever my role is on the team is to perfect that role. And for Drew to vouch for me like that, it really means a lot just because he is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's a Hall of Fame person as well, and I just really appreciate, him going out of his way to help me get here.
Next question is from Mike Triplett. Mike?
Benny, how much of your game would you say is being a proficient blocker? Is that something that you do because receivers need to be okay at it, or is it a specialty of yours?
I think it's a specialty to me playing in the Big Ten, blocking for backs like Le'Veon Bell, playing with Kirk Cousins and things like that. Playing in the Big Ten, it's always about blocking for the running back first. We do run a lot just because it is cold up north. And that's one of the ways I made the team in Denver was having to block and, do some of the dirty work. And that's exactly what I'm going to bring to this team is, whatever, doing the little things and blocking and making sure that whatever impact I can make on this team, I will make.
Next question is for Rod Walker. Rod?
Hey, Benny, I'm not sure how many receivers have played with both Mannings and Brees, and I guess you had a little time with Brady.
Yeah.
How are those guys sort of similar, and what are some differences in those guys?
I think the fact that I've gotten to play with all four of those guys, both Mannings, Tom Brady, and Brees, they both have attention to detail. Their attention to detail, and they just notice the small things, but it's about being in the right spot. And it's all about cohesion, and it's all about, just winning. At the end of the day, that's what I take away from all of those guys. They all just want to win, and they're all different in certain ways and the way they throw the ball, but one of the biggest things that they all do is that their attention to detail is so great and it's so fine-tuned.
Is that something you've seen in Drew that you didn't see in those other three guys?
Yeah, Drew's attention to detail is right up there with all the quarterbacks that I've played, and his timing is incredible. Just the way he throws the ball, and he's on time with everything, going through every read, and you can just, even though I don't play quarterback, you could just learn a lot from his preparation and just the way he goes about his everyday business.
Nice. Next question is from Amy Just.
Hey, little off topic here, but with the Big Ten, not playing football this fall, I guess what was your reaction to that news as a guy who played in that league?
It's tough just because they don't have the everyday testing, and it's just tough because those kids have their dreams of making it to the NFL, and they go to college for education but also to play. But right now is the perfect opportunity for them to pivot and understand what life could look like after football. So I think there's pros and cons to it. Yes, they want to play, but right now they can't. So what's the next step? What does life look like after football? Focus on education. Just focus on what you can control. That's it sucks for those kids, but at the same time, this is an opportunity for them to develop as men. And for Michigan State, them having a new coaching staff, it's going to give them more cohesion.
Next question is for Christopher Dunnels.
Benny, you talked about some of the great quarterbacks you've played with, but you've also played with some really good wide receivers. So I was just curious what you've seen out of Michael Thomas now that you guys are on the same practice field.
Yeah, his work ethic is incredible, and his attention to detail and just the questions that he asks in meetings and the way he goes about his everyday business. he knows how to get open. He has some of the best hands I've ever seen. And just his route running ability. I don't think he gets enough credit for the way he runs routes and how crafty he is. Yeah, and he's definitely up there with, you know, the great receivers that I've played with, you know, and Demarius, Wes Welker, Odell, and Emmanuel, now him.
Next question is from Kat Terrell.
Hey, I have two questions. My first was just about the process of you getting signed. Did you think anything was going to come out of that first workout, or did you and your agent kind of reach out to the Saints later in the summer to see if something could be done about a contract?
You know what? I just wanted an opportunity to get in front of Drew. So Emmanuel invited me, so I decided to go out there. And, you know, a couple routes in, he asked me if I was on a team. And I was like, no, I'm not on a team right now because of COVID. You know, I haven't had a chance to work out with anybody or travel to any teams. And he was like, I'm going to call our guys right after this. And, you know, I was like, okay, so we'll see. And then, you know, I think my agent maybe called me like a day or two later and said, yeah, Drew really did call about you. And whatever you did, you must have really impressed him. And, you know, to get in front of a Hall of Fame quarterback, even just to catch passes from him, if nothing came out of it, I learned a lot from him. And I'm glad that, you know, it did, you know, come to this, to where they, you know, reached out to me and signed me. And, you know, they just said, you know, once training camp starts, we'll bring you in for a workout. And then we ended up, you know, they just ended up signing me because Drew vouched for me so hard.
So first of all, that's an awesome story that worked out like that.
Thank you.
And second, you mentioned just being a blocker earlier. What position or role have they had you primarily playing since you joined the team?
Right now I'm just playing outside and inside. I'm learning the whole entire offense. That's the way I kind of go about things, you know, just being able to fill in for anybody at any given time. But the way I learn all the positions and all the concepts. That's the way I've gotten into the league, and that's the way I've made teams, is to know all the positions so I can fill in anywhere.
And next question is for Rod Walker.
Hey, Benny, do you feel like you have to buy Emmanuel dinner for the rest of the year for making all this come about?
Buy him dinner? No, not necessarily. You know, Emmanuel's like a brother to me, and he pulled me aside when, you know, early in my career. So this is our 5th year playing together. So we have a great relationship like that, and we have a big brother, you know, younger brother relationship. So, yeah, I'll definitely take him out and take him out to dinner, but I don't buy him dinner for the rest of the year.
Hey, I think we're all set. Thanks for the time, Benny.
All right, appreciate you guys.